In previous videos, we talked about customizing compose themes by extending material theme or by replacing some material systems of material theme. In this lesson, we will be talking about another way of customizing compose theme, which is designing a completely new design system from the ground up. So let's get started. First, I create a new folder in my UI package. I create a new package and I name it my theme, and inside it I'm gonna create some replacements for my theme to replace the equivalent of design systems in material theme. So let's create one for shape. I name it my shape. I create another for typography, my type, another for color, and because material theme also provides things like content alpha, we are gonna create equivalent for them as well. So I create another one for content alpha. Note that content alpha in material theme is used to emphasize and de-emphasize elements like text and icons. And in addition to that, material theme also provides ripple theme and some other things like text selection colors. So if we are going to create our own theme, we probably need to think about these elements and replace them as well. So let's start creating my type. First, I'm going to create a data class similar to what we have done before. I make it an immutable class and I name it my type, and it's gonna have some elements, some members, val. I'm gonna create a very simple type that has small, medium and large text. So for small, I'm gonna create it. It's gonna be a text style. Its type. Let's import text style. Val medium text style and val large text style. It's also going to have a default font family. To specify font family that is default for using in text elements. And then I'm gonna create a local composition for this, val local my type, static composition local of my type. For font family, I use font family default, text style dot default. For small and medium and large, default, and text style default. Now let's go to the color and create it as well. A data class that is immutable. Import immutable. And then I'm gonna have some members that represent colors. For example, background color, content color, and button colors. I'm gonna define a separate color for buttons. So val background color, val content color, and val button color, which is also color, import color. Also, I'm gonna create a color to represent the background color of the bars, like top bar and bottom bar, and it's going to be a gradient. And in order to create a gradient, we need at least two colors. So I define two colors, val bar color. So it's gonna be a list of colors. So our specific color system is going to have one special type of color that is gradient and consists of two colors. Let's create a local composition for this. Local my color, static composition local of my color, color dot unspecified. Initially we initialize these colors to unspecified, but later we will pass appropriate values to them. Color dot unspecified, and list, and an empty list for the latest field. So our color is created. Let's now create our shape. Again, I create an immutable data class. I name it my shape, and I'm gonna create a simple shape system that has shapes for buttons and components, or for surfaces. So button shape is gonna be a shape. Let's import shape. And val surfaces, or surface shape, and it's gonna be a shape again. Let's create a local composition for it. Val local my shape, static composition local of my shape, and it's gonna be simple shape initially, rectangle shape and rectangle shape, but we will obviously customize them when we want to use them in our theme. And for content alpha, I'm gonna create a content alpha object, my content alpha, and it's gonna be several levels of alpha to emphasize and de-emphasize elements. So small or low, val low, and for low it's gonna be 0.3f, and val medium is gonna be 0.6f, and val high is gonna be 1f. Let's also make them const. Okay. Now we can create our theme. I create another Kotlin file. I name it my theme or new theme. It's gonna be my theme name. And it needs to be a composable new theme. It has a Boolean parameter called isDark, and its default value is system in dark theme. And it also has a content parameter, which is a composable unit, and inside this we are gonna create the values that we need for our theme from our special types and pass them to our theme. So let's create them. Val colors, my color, background color, content color, and button color, as well as bar color. Okay, let's start with background color. For background color, we say if we are in dark theme, if is dark, then give this color, otherwise this color. Let's create a simple color, import color, okay. I have added 1 2 3 4 5 and 0x ff 00 ff 00. I will customize both of them. For background color of our dark theme, I'm gonna pass a color like this color, and for light theme I'm gonna use this color. Let's select material 300, intensity, and second color from the right. Now for the content color, again we say if is dark, use this color, otherwise use this color. Let's copy these colors and customize them. For content color in the dark mode, I select A700 intensity, and for content color let's use actually I'm going to select color white, in dark mode, and color dot black in light mode. Now select the button colors. If is dark, then select this color with the value that we copied earlier, and in light theme use this color. Again, I paste the same color, but I will customize it. For button color, in dark theme, let's use this color from the 700 intensity. Let's use this color. Third from the left, in dark theme, and for the light theme, let's select the same color from A700 intensity. And for bar color, I'm gonna pass in a list of colors, a list of 2 colors in fact. Let's pass 2 colors. I'm gonna use again A700 intensity, and I'm gonna use yellow and red. All right, this is for our colors. Let's create shapes. My shape, for button shape, let's create a rounded corner shape. With corners from the top start and bottom end. So top start 8 depth and bottom end 8 depth. And for surface shape, let's use a cut corner shape, import cut corner shape, and this time I'm gonna cut it from top end and bottom start. So top end 16 depth and bottom, top end and bottom start 16 depth. Let's create our next variable for typography. Val typography. I create my type, and for default font family, I use font family, font, import font and font family, r.font r.font let's import font r Gucci hand. This is a font I have saved in my resources. Small, for small I'm gonna use text style. Let's use a font size of 10 sp and the font family with the same value as the previous parameter. For medium, I'm gonna copy the same line and I'm gonna change the font size. I'm gonna change it to 20 sp And for large, I'm gonna paste the same line but with a bigger font size, like 40 sp. Okay, this is for our typography. Now let's create our elevation system. We can create a custom elevation to pass to our elements, like our buttons. So I'm gonna create a type for it, my elevation. Let's create a data class called my elevation. You can create as many desired custom systems as you want for your theme. This is just another custom type that I'm creating to use for my theme. Let's create two values and two fields for our elevation, like normal and pressed. So for normal, its type is gonna be dep, and val pressed. Let's create a local composition for it, local my elevation, static composition local of. I created using a static composition local of, and my elevation. Initially I pass it as unspecified, but later I will give specific values to pass to my theme. So normal in normal state, and pressed when we press something like the button, a button. So I go back to my theme, I create an elevation, my elevation, for normal I use 4 dep, and for pressed I use 16 dep to create a bigger cast, a bigger shadow. This way I create a bigger shadow which shows the element has been pressed. So now that these values are ready, I can pass them to my theme. So I use a composition local provider for it, and I pass as many values as I want to my UI tree. So I pass local my color with the value of my colors in fact, local my type with the value of my type or typography here, local my shape provides shapes, which is the name of the variable that I have created here, and local my elevation with the value of my elevation. And also you can pass the values that are defined, values for types that are defined by material theme. For example, for text selection, you can create custom text selection and pass your values to it. So val my text selection colors and text selection colors. Import text selection from material from foundation text selection package. Import handle color. It has two members, handle color and background color. For handle color I'm gonna use yellow, and for background color I'm gonna use blue. or let's use light gray. So how do we pass it to our theme? This way: local text selection colors provides my text selection colors. And what about material ripple? As I mentioned earlier, also material ripple is used for material components. So if you want to customize it in your theme, you need to create an equivalent for it and pass it to your theme. So local ripple theme provides, we need to pass our value here. So let's import local ripple theme, and we need to create a ripple theme and pass it here. Let's create it as a new type. I'm gonna create a class here. I'm gonna create it my ripple, name it my ripple, and it's gonna implement material ripple or ripple theme interface. Import ripple theme, and I'm gonna press Alt and Enter on my ripple and press implement methods, and it has two methods that need to be implemented. And because this is often used in compose context, we need to make it composable. Both of these need to be composables. Let's specify the color for the ripple theme. So return, here we return the color blue, and for the ripple alpha, I'm gonna return ripple alpha, return ripple alpha. Dragged alpha, it has dragged alpha. For dragged alpha, I'm gonna use 0.2f. For focused alpha, I'm gonna use 0.5. For hovered, let's make it 4. For hovered alpha, let's use 0.6f, and for pressed alpha, let's use a full alpha of 1. Okay, now we created our custom ripple theme. Let's pass it in our theme. Local ripple theme, let's create a new my ripple here and pass it to our theme. What else do we need to create? I think we are good to go. We have text selection ripple and our shape and elevation, as well as type and color. All right, now let's call the content here. What if we want to use our theme values inside our components? We need to create an object for our theme to make them accessible. So at the bottom of my file, I create an object with the name of my theme, and it's gonna have values for most of these variables that I have created and most of my custom types. So val my color, it's my color, it's type, and it's a getter. It's a composable getter, in fact, because we are using Jetpack Compose, and it returns local my color dot current, and it also has val my type For typography, its type is my type, and it's a composable getter. So local my type dot current is its value that is returned, and val my shape, its type is my shape, and it's a composable getter again, and local my shape dot current. Okay, we can also pass our elevation, val my elevation, it's a composable again, and local my elevation dot current. What else can we pass here? I think we are good to go. What about my content alpha? It's already an object, so we can access it directly. We don't need to embed it inside our theme object. Okay. If I run this now, you expect that you see a lot of changes, but we will not. Let's press the button. Yes, we don't see much difference. What about the dark theme? Yeah, not much difference yet. So once you have created your theme, you need to make sure that you are passing your theme to your composables by wrapping your composables inside your theme. In fact, your root composables. So I go to my main activity, and in my preview as well as the set content section, I'm gonna change the theme of my composables to the new theme. So new theme, import new theme, and in the set content as well, new theme. Let's run our application so that it runs on the device as well as in the preview, shows in the preview. Okay, it's running, but we are not seeing any sign of the typography, shapes, and colors that we defined for our theme, and it's expected. In fact, the reason is that we have not defined them for our composables and components. We need to do them manually. But first, take a look at this. You can see that the ripple is already working because we have defined the ripple. We passed the ripple to our theme with the blue color. You see that it is working. And if we switch it to dark theme, in fact it was dark already, but if we go to light theme, you see it's apparently a little bit different, and it's automatically done by Ripple theme object, which is an implementation of Ripple theme interface that we have implemented. Okay, what about the text selection? See if it works. Some text selected. There we go, it is working. The handle color is yellow, and the text selection color, the background is light gray. Okay, now let's deal with other issues in our theme. Not in our theme, in fact, with our implementation. Let's go to our main activity. As you can see, we have some components like the button. I have my button that wraps material component of button. As I mentioned in the previous lessons, if you are using custom types and custom theme, you need to wrap material components in your own composables and make your customizations there. You should not pollute all over your application by tinkering your material components with custom values and custom theming specifications. So wrap them in your composable and do your changes there, like my button. So in my button, I'm gonna specify the colors. This time I'm gonna take the colors from my new theme. For background color, new theme dot my color dot background color, and for content color I'm gonna use new theme dot my color dot content color. Let's refresh the preview. While it's being refreshed, let's also add shape. There we go. The button colors are applied. Let's now add our shape. New theme dot my shape dot button shape. Refresh it. Refresh. There we go. The shape is also applied. You can see the round corners for top start and bottom end for both dark and light themes. Okay, what about the disabled colors? In the colors section, disabled content color, let's specify them. Let's use the disabled background color, and for this we are gonna use this background color. In fact, we're gonna use the content color and we are gonna compose it on the background color. So new theme dot my color dot content color. First, let's create a copy of it with a custom alpha. For its alpha, I'm gonna use new theme my content alpha. In fact, let's import it and then let's use a low alpha. And once we created a copy of that color with this alpha, then composite it over the background color, which is new theme dot my color dot background color. All right, now let's see the effect by switching it to disabled and see how it looks. This is just an example of how you can use content alpha. And there we go, it shows disabled. You can also check out the documentation for composite over, why we used it. You can see that it composites this color on top of the background color that we specified using this algorithm, Porter-Duff source over mode, which is a graphical concept. Okay, after that, let's deal with other components. Also change this back to enabled. We don't need a disabled color. All right, let's deal with our card. we already have a card here. Let's go to our main activity and check for my card. Yes, we have my card. And for colors, I'm gonna get the colors from my new theme dot my color dot background. And for content color, I'm gonna get the color from my color dot content color. There we go. And as you can see, we have also used provide text style to pass our text theme to the content inside the box. So because we have switched our theme, we need to change this as well to our new theme. So let's do that. New theme dot my type dot large. Because we are on a card, in fact, I'm gonna use a medium one. And let's also change the shape to our specific shape where my card has been called. Let's pass our own shape. New theme dot my shape dot surface shape, and again go to the definition, shape elevation. For our elevation also we can pass our own elevation from the theme. So new theme dot my elevation dot normal. We can use this elevation for the button as well. Let's refresh the preview and add that elevation to the button as well. So elevation button defaults dot elevation, and get the values for default elevation and pressed elevation. For default elevation, I'm gonna use new theme dot my elevation dot normal, and for pressed one, I'm gonna use new theme dot my elevation dot pressed. There we go. Our button, our surface has taken the shape and the typography from our theme. Nice. That is great. Now refresh the preview. We have some changes that have not been applied. So far we have used shape, typography, and colors to customize some components. Next, we are going to change the color of our top and bottom bars to the gradient that we intended to use in our theme. So in order to do that, when you have a completely new specification like that gradient background, it's better to define a new component for it instead of just wrapping it in a composable. So I'm gonna create my top bar composable, or simply my bar, to use it both for the top and bottom bars. And then I'm gonna create a row and I'm gonna pass the content that I receive, content box scope. It's not box scope, it's row scope. In fact, row scope unit, and it's a composable. Row scope. We put the content inside our row. We have some error here. What is that for? Let's go to our top bar in the scaffold. It has this content, which is the text. I change it to my bar. And I define it let's delete it and create it again. My bar takes a content parameter, which is a composable. And it's gonna use it in a row. Let's make this a row scope. And call the content here. Row content. Now let's modify its background. This is the tricky part. Let's also define a modifier parameter for it with a default empty modifier. Like this. And for its background, because I'm gonna use the gradient color from my theme, I use background, and for background I'm gonna define a brush, and brush allows us to create backgrounds using gradients, so I'm gonna use a horizontal gradient with two colors that I have from my theme. So I say my new theme dot my color dot bar color. This gives us the two colors that are available in the list. And there we go. This is for our top bar. And for the content, because we want to give it the text theme that we have defined in our theme, let's wrap it here. Let's provide text style, new theme dot my type dot small. This is just the title, it's small, and call the content inside it. Let's do the same for our button bar. My bottom app bar, let's create a composable with that name, or just use my bar to make things simple. This way my bar will be called and it will put the content in a row scope with this background. So refresh the preview. Okay, there's a small problem. It doesn't take the whole width. Let's apply that. For the row, let's give it fill max width. Refresh it. There we go. It's not bad. Now let's deal with this text. It's around here, this text. Let's use my text for it. My text is not yet defined, so I'm gonna define it. Let's copy and paste this text and rename text to my text. As you can see, it takes several parameters just like text, but I'm gonna pass my text theme to it, my text style. So new theme dot my type dot large. So let's define my text, but after removing this old text or commenting it out. So Alt and Enter, I press Alt and Enter and create composable function my text. Let's name this text. Let's give it a default value of text style.default for style, and an empty modifier as default modifier. Okay, I know that it's not used. Let's now call material text with it. For text, pass text, and for style, pass style. Text align, and for modifier, let's use modifier. Modifier. Yes. Okay, refresh the preview. I don't know what this warning is saying here. Should be the first. Okay, you're right. Modifier should be the first parameter. I'm gonna put it after text. Like this. There we go. Another refresh. What about my button? My button is not yet following the text style that we give it to it, and that's because we are not using my text. So let's use my text in the body of my button, and what parameter are we missing here? Text align. Okay, let's make it a default one. Text align, that's center. This way the function will not ask us for parameter when we don't provide it. Okay, the error is now gone. What else do we need to do? The surface, the bigger surface, the body. So let's create a composable for surface. Let's call it my surface. I'm gonna put everything here on top of the surface so that it can get the background color from my theme. So surface has modifier that I'm gonna take from a parameter to my surface, and shape, it has shape, color, content color, it has border, elevation, and content. Let's define these values. Modifier, and then shape, color. In fact, we are going to give those values directly from our theme rather than passing them to our composable, because this is a special component that is customized from our theme. So we are gonna get these values from our theme. So my shape dot surface shape, and for color we get it from my color dot background color, and for its content color, new theme dot my color dot content color. So we don't pass shape, we pass content, which is a composable. Like this. And now let's wrap everything that we have in our new composable surface. So I'm gonna pass my scaffold, I'm gonna wrap my scaffold, let's find its bounds, the scaffold ends here, so select the whole scaffold, and then Alt Enter, surround with widget, surround with container, and the container is going to be my surface. There we go. Let's refresh the preview. I hope I didn't mess up. I put my scaffold on top of my surface. Okay, it doesn't work that way. I need to undo here, and I'm gonna select the content of my scaffold, and wrap it inside my surface. So Alt and Enter, surround with widget, container, and my surface is the container. Refresh it. There we go. You can see that it is taking the effect. The problem is with my surface. It doesn't take the whole height available to it. So let's specify fill max height. There we go. Now it's better. You can see that we customize some of our components using the values from our theme. This is a theme that we created from the ground up. We replaced our material theme with this theme. You can keep customizing this theme by wrapping your composables inside, wrapping components of material design like extended floating action button, surface, and other components in your own composables, and then applying your changes there in order to have a completely custom theme. Why this button is not taking the change that we wanted for it? So my text, new theme dot my type dot medium. Refresh the preview. There we go, the button's style is changed. So you can follow the steps outlined in this lesson to create your own custom theme from the ground up and use it for your Compose applications. As a small exercise, I want you to apply the theming values that we created for this floating action button. As a hint, wrap this component in your own composable and apply the theming values from our custom theme to the composable. So I hope that you enjoyed this lesson.